Hi everybody, welcome to Beginner Vinyasa. I'm Teresa. If you want to pin my video, if you see more than one person at a time, you can pin my video to make sure that I'm the main one on your screen. Also, since you guys are currently muted, if you want to listen to any other yoga music in the background, you can put on your own playlist. And for this class, you don't need any props. You don't even really need a mat if you have a soft carpet. And this is a beginner-friendly class. So start to find a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like. It can be with your legs crossed or your legs straight out in front of you, or maybe sitting on a pillow or something. Let your hands find your knees, either palms face down if you're feeling like you could use a little extra grounding today, or palms face up if you are willing to receive some new energy today. From here, just let the eyes close and start to tune in to your breath. So without manipulating it yet, just noticing how your breath is right now. Notice if it feels shallow or deep, or if you feel it anywhere in particular in the body. And then continue with that sort of curious inventory throughout the body. Start at the top of your head and make your way all the way down to your toes. Just noticing whatever it is that you find. And you don't have to label anything as good or bad, comfortable, uncomfortable, but just becoming aware of how you're showing up. And so much of what we do in yoga is to create a sort of mindful awareness. And a lot of the times when we practice physical yoga, yoga asana, we are establishing that awareness of our physical body. Starting to figure out what feels good, what feels neutral. Find something that challenges us without causing pain. And one of the best ways you can establish that mindful awareness in the body is through your breath. So I want to start this class with a little bit of a breathing exercise. It's called square breathing or box breathing. And if you want to look up at me while I'm explaining this, it might be helpful to have a visual, but once you get it, you can close your eyes. So for square breathing, you'll inhale for a count of 4, and then you'll hold that inhale for a count of 4, and then you'll exhale for the same count of 4, and then hold the exhale for 4. And so that's where the square comes from. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. So I'll start counting, and we'll go through this together. So we'll start with a just regular cleansing breath. So breathing in through the nose, and just breathe out the mouth. And then inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, out the nose, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, in through the nose, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, out, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, Exhale. Hold. And continue with your own breath for a little while longer. So that next exhale, whenever you do that last exhale, you can let go of this manipulation of the breath, this square breathing. And just return to that natural in and out through the nose breathing. Notice if there are any different sensations in the mind or in the body since we first sat down. And sometimes it doesn't have to take very long in order to notice our body tap into that change of rhythm. Drawing yourself into that internal awareness within the body. If you'd like to set any intention or dedications for this practice today, you can start to settle in on that now. You can dedicate this practice to yourself, to a loved one, a pet, or a project. And then as we bring both hands to heart center, the fingers are nice and close together. Draw the thumbs towards the chest and lift the chest into the thumbs. We'll seal these dedications and intentions with one deep sighing breath. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, letting it into the universe. And so blinking open the eyes if they're closed. We'll make our way into tabletop position right away. So rolling over the knees, we'll find tabletop position. Fingers are really wide, directly underneath the shoulders, and knees or hips width distance apart. Toes are tucked. We'll go through a few rounds of cat and cow. So as you inhale, find cow, drop the belly, lift the gaze, roll the shoulders away from the ears, and exhale for cat. Untuck the toes, press the mat away, chin comes to the chest. Good. Inhale to cow, opening the whole front body, and exhale to cat. Lengthening through the spine, opening the shoulders. 2 more times, your pace as you inhale to cow and exhale to cat. Any little movements that feel good, you can add a little side to side or back and forth. Good. From here, finding a more neutral tabletop position, root down through the hands, and then 1 foot at a time steps back to plank pose. So the fingers are still wide, the shoulders are still directly over the wrists, and the hips are shoulder height. If your hips don't stay shoulder height, I'd rather you go a little bit higher than a little lower just to protect the lower back. So just keep that in mind. Aim for shoulder height or a little bit higher. So from here, noticing the space between your shoulder blades and actively press the mat away like you're in cat pose. Good. Maybe starting to notice a little shaking happening. Can you breathe into that sensation? Keeping your legs active. The more active your legs are, the lighter they're gonna feel. Good, we'll take 1 more in and out breath. Great, from here, just drop the knees. So notice we're not exactly in tabletop position. My knees are back past my hips. We're in a modified push-up, right? From here, we're gonna do a couple basically modified push-ups, but they're knees, chest, and chin push-ups for this class. And this is to help build up our strength for chaturangas. So I'll demonstrate first. We'll inhale in this push-up position. As you exhale, we'll take 3 counts to lower down, chest and chin, elbows stay close to the body. So we'll inhale here, exhale, lower, 1, 2, 3, and then inhale, press right back up. Good, we're gonna do 4 more. So inhale, exhale, 1, 2, 3, inhale up, exhale, lower, elbows stay close, inhale up, 2 more, exhale, 1, 2, 3, inhale up, last one, exhale, inhale up. And then sit back, child's pose. Just let the hips come back by the heels. Relax the head down towards the floor. Maybe rock a little bit side to side. Notice where you feel this along your back or shoulders. Maybe your head is touching the floor, you're massaging your third eye. Good. Know that this is a posture you can always return to at any point if you need a little break. Good. As you inhale, look between the hands. Walk the hands a little bit farther out, tuck the toes, and make your way into downward facing dog. So my spine's really long here. All I'm doing is lifting the hips, drawing my ankles towards the floor, but keeping that spine long. So noticing if by pressing your heels down towards the floor, you start to arch your back, like in that cat pose, then maybe you add a bend in the knees to lengthen the spine, crown towards the fingertips, hips reaching nice and high. So we'll take a few more breaths in downward facing dog. Explore this posture. Any movements that feel good, maybe pedaling out the feet or bending the knees. Maybe a little side to side feels good. Opening through the side body. Nice. As you inhale, start to look between the hands. Tippy-toe your way to the front of the mat. When you get there, feet comes hips width distance apart. Bend through the knees, find ragdoll pose. So grab opposite elbows, let the head hang heavy, the elbows draw down towards the floor. Maybe add a little bit of a side to side rock. Shake no, nod yes. Notice this posture opening up the shoulders and the neck, the upper back, not the legs. So bending nice and deep into the legs so that you can feel that. And then as you find stillness, release the grip of the arms, walk the feet nice and close together, and inhale, lift halfway, palms find the shins, roll the shoulders away from the ears, exhale, fold forward, release. And you can always bend through the legs in these forward folds. Inhale, arm sweep all the way up to the ceiling, actively reaching through the fingers, lengthening both sides of the ribs, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, crown reaches forward, hips reach back, exhale, fold. Inhale, arm sweep all the way up, again, nice and active, lifting out of the hips, and exhale, forward fold. So noticing the full length of the breath, starting to link that breath with movement. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arm sweep up. Exhale, dive straight back down, forward fold. One more like that, inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arm sweep up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Good. So now we'll move into a sun salutation A, which is a pretty standard warm-up in our Vinyasa classes. So as you inhale, once again, the arms reach up. Maybe the palms touch this time, finding a little more expansion in the shoulders. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands and step back to plank pose. So we'll take a nice deep breath in plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, and chin, just like we did before, keeping the elbows close to the body. Then as you inhale, slide through baby cobra. I think of this kind of like an inchworm move. And then as you exhale, move through tabletop into downward facing dog. So just connecting all the dots, what we already did. Taking another breath or two in downward facing dog. Maybe this time you find some stillness. Eventually, downward facing dog becomes our resting posture. So really focusing on the fingertips, especially the space between index finger and thumb. And focusing on these areas will help the wrists. If you have a lot of sensation in the wrists, you're building strength, but using your fingers will help support those wrists. As you inhale, look between the hands. Exhale, step 1 foot at a time to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms sweep all the way up. Maybe the palms touch. Maybe you lift the gaze, adding a little back bend. Gaze is up towards the thumbs. Exhale, hands come to heart center. We're going to do that one more time. Again, bringing it all together, sun salutation end. Inhale, arms sweep up. Maybe the palms touch. Maybe the gaze lifts. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back to plank. Inhaling in plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, and chin. Or if you have chaturanga, you can chaturanga too. Inhale, slide through baby cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale into downward facing dog. Great job. Inhale right away, look between the hands. Exhale, step 1 foot at a time to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, arms sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Good. Inhale to chair pose. Let the seat drop really, really low. Biceps come up by the ears. Weights in the heels. So our shoulders are stacking more over the hips than over the knees. So we're not leaning all the way forward like this. The spine is nice and long. Crown of the head is up towards the sky. And tailbone is reaching down towards the floor. So not back behind you for that imaginary chair. I know we're used to be cued to sit back in that chair. But instead, draw the tailbone down. Engage the lower abdominals. Maybe even wiggle the toes because the weight's in the heels so much. Drop one more inch, deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands and step just the left foot back. Drop the back knee, untuck the back toe. Maybe come up onto fingertips to lift a little bit off of the right leg. And from here, just starting to bend a little bit more into the right knee. Drawing the right knee towards the toes, but making sure that the heel is grounded firmly. So there's a lot of debate in the anatomy world and in yoga and fitness, whether it's safe for the knee to go past the toe in lunges. Basically, if it doesn't hurt, then you're probably doing fine. Keep the heel nice and grounded. The knee stacking over the ankle might be most comfortable. So from here, the fingers can either stay on the floor, drawing the hips forward, bending into that right knee, or you can bring both hands on top of the right knee and start to press into the knee this way. So we're still bending into the knee, still drawing the hips forward, but maybe starting to add a little bit of a back bend as the heart's lifting. So you're pressing the right knee away, lifting the heart up towards the ceiling. So the gaze can stay neutral ahead, or you can start to lift the gaze up towards the ceiling here. 2 more breaths. Every inhale, imagine the heart space lifting. And every exhale, really pressing into the feet, bending into the knee, drawing the hips forward. 1 more breath. As you inhale, come back to center. Bring both hands down onto the mat. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee. Step the right foot back to meet the left, so we're in high plank. Deep breath in. And exhale, you'll vinyasa. So lower either knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, slide through, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good. From downward facing dog, the left foot steps forward between the hands, and you can use your hand to help that foot forward. Drop the back knee, untuck the back toe, and then again, just maybe coming up onto the fingertips and starting to pulse a little bit with this left knee. Starting to draw the hips forward, waking up the hips. From here, maybe the hands stay grounded as you're finding the stretch already here, or the hands can come up onto the knee as you press into the knee, drawing the hips forward, maybe starting to find that back bend with the heart lifting. Maybe the gaze starts to lift up towards the ceiling as you find a nice deep opening back bend here. 2 more breaths. As you inhale, come back to center. Bring both hands down either side of the left foot, tuck the back knee, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, step the right foot forward into a forward fold. Good. From this forward fold, inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale into that chair pose again. The seat's really low, biceps by the ears. Again, crown reaches up, tailbone reaches down, squeezing through the core. Maybe drop another inch lower. 1 more deep breath in. And exhale, come to stand, Tadasana. Awesome. So from Tadasana, we're gonna make our way into eagle pose. So for eagle pose, it's a balancing posture. First, you're gonna start with your right leg as your standing leg. So feeling out all 4 corners of the foot, as I talked about last week. We, in yoga, talk about the foot having 4 corners, 2 in the ball of the foot and 2 in the heel. So feeling all 4 corners, spread the toes wide, establish that strong base first. From here, you're gonna take your left leg, cross it over the right, and bend into the right knee. So sitting a little bit into it like in chair pose, squeeze the legs together. If you can double cross, you can double cross, but otherwise just crossing the legs and squeezing the legs tight. So noticing if you're a little wobbly already, this is why we're practicing this, right? We come into these balance postures to observe what happens when we are unbalanced, quite literally, and also when we sometimes fall out of a pose. What goes on in the mind when we make our way back into it? Are we berating ourselves? Are we staying neutral? Are we cheering ourselves on? Good. So from eagle legs, arms come out to a T. Right arm is under the left, and you can either grab opposite shoulders or find the full eagle arms with the palms touching. Gaze is beyond the hand. Establish a drishti, a non-moving focus point to focus your gaze on as you breathe in and out through the nose, nice and even, pressing through the right foot. Squeeze the legs together, breathing still. Every inhale, the elbows maybe lift a little bit off the chest, and every exhale, the shoulders relax away from the ears. A few more breaths like that. Inhale, elbows lift, and shoulders relax. Again, if you fall out of it, just make your way back in. Imagine the elbows stacking above the knees, and the knees are above the right foot. Good. 1 more breath here. And then from here, you can start to unravel your eagle legs, unravel the eagle arms, find full extension, reaching all the way up to the ceiling, and then find a forward fold. Let it go. From this forward fold, we'll find a yogi toe lock. So taking your peace fingers, wrapping them around your big toe, and using your thumb to complete that grip. So you might need to bend your knees a lot. That's okay. Find the grip. Feet are about hips width distance apart. From here, inhale, lift halfway. Get a little bit of tension in the arms as you lengthen through the whole spine. And exhale, start to fold. So that might mean extending the legs straight, or that might mean if your legs are straight, pulling yourself deeper, elbows opening out to the side. Every inhale, lift a little bit. Find that length in the spine. Exhale, fold. 2 more breaths like that. Inhale. Exhale, pull yourself deeper. 1 more time. Good. Then you can release that yogi toe lock. 1 vertebrae at a time. Roll yourself up to stand nice and slow. Head and neck come up last. And we'll do that eagle pose on the left side. So again, feeling out your base, feeling out all four corners of the left foot. Spread the toes wide. Once you establish that base, the right leg crosses over the left, and you bend nice and deep into the left knee as you squeeze the legs together. If you can double cross, you would double cross the legs. Otherwise, just squeezing the legs. From here, arms come out to a T. This time, left arm is under the right. You can grab shoulders, or you can find those full eagle arms. Find that drishti, that non-moving point to focus on. Every inhale, lifting the elbows. Every exhale, relaxing the shoulders. Breathing is even and deep, in and out through the nose. The more you squeeze the legs and press into the standing foot, the left foot, the stronger your eagle's gonna feel. Making your way back in, anytime you fall out. And noticing what the mind does when that happens. Can you shift it into a place that serves you? We'll all wobble, we'll all fall at some point. Making our way back in without berating ourselves is important on and off the mat. One more breath here. Good. As you inhale, start to relax the eagle legs, release the eagle arms. Find that full extension again, all four corners of the body, just opening up. And then exhale, forward fold, release. So at the top of your mat, if you're not there already, inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms sweep all the way up to the sky. Maybe the palms touch, maybe you have that back bend again. Finding that length, that good stretch. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank, and vinyasa. So lowering down your way, knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, either cobra, the hips are grounded, or upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. From down dog, inhale the right leg to the sky, three-legged dog, stack the hips, bend the knee, flex through the foot, make those big circles with the knee. Opening up the hip, still drawing that left heel down towards the floor. Maybe roll out the ankle, the right ankle. Good. And then inhale, find that three-legged dog again. The right toes point down. And exhale, step it forward, big step forward, warrior two. So pivoting on that back heel, cartwheeling the arms up, soft gaze over the right fingers. So warrior two is our longest stance in our whole practice. It takes up almost our whole mat, and our feet are usually about underneath the hands. So tendency is for people to want to have a real deep bend in the right knee, which you do, stacking the right knee over the right ankle. But in order to get that, a lot of people shorten their stance, really short, like this. And this works, the knee is stacked over the ankle, but there's nowhere for you to grow. So instead, have that really, really, really long stance, and maybe just bend the knee as much as you can. It doesn't have to go over the ankle. As you find more openness in the hips, you'll start to bend more deeply, and you have that room to grow here. Good. So from our nice strong warrior two, finding a side angle pose. So the right forearm comes down onto the right thigh. The left arm reaches up and overhead. So we're one long line on the left side of our body from the left fingers to the left toes. Good. So from here, noticing how much weight is in your right forearm. It might be considerable at first, starting to build that strength, using this forearm to hold us up, but eventually pressing so much through the feet and engaging through the obliques, through the side body, that there's really not much weight on the forearm at all. And if there is much weight, you're using it to press open your heart more towards the ceiling. 2 more breaths here. See if you can maybe ease up. Or maybe as a challenge, you can pretend to hold that big beach ball over your head. 1 more breath in and out. Inhale, find that warrior two again. So still bending into the right leg, soft gaze over the fingers. As you inhale, peaceful warrior, right arm sweeps all the way up and back. Keep that bend in the right knee just for one more second. And then cartwheel the hands down onto the mat, pivoting on the back toes. Walk your right foot to the right side of the mat, finding lizard pose. Both hands are inside the right foot. Rock forward, rock back. Maybe a little side to side. Drop the back knee and untuck the back toe for lizard pose. So with lizard, the right toes are pointing forward. The right knee is nice and close to the right armpit or the right tricep. And you can either be up on your palms, or you can lower down onto the forearms. Or if you're somewhere in between and you have books or a block, a yoga block, then you can also be on your forearms on one of those things. But otherwise, you can stay up on the palms. We're here for 2 more breaths. Good. Coming up onto the palms if you are on the forearms or on a block or a prop. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and then swing the right leg all the way back up, 3-legged dog. Once again, stack the hips, bend the knee, flex through the foot. Whatever movements feel good, release that hip, release the right leg. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you have the option to move through a vinyasa or take a few breaths in down dog. If you vinyasa, inhale forward to plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. Stack the hips, bend the knee, flex through the foot, make those big circles. Keep drawing that right heel towards the earth. Roll out the left ankle. And then inhale back to 3-legged dog. The left toes point down. Exhale, giant step forward, warrior 2. Pivot on that back heel, cartwheel the arms up, soft gaze over the left fingers. And I'm going to turn just so I'm facing you. Good. So again, keep the stance really, really long with the feet. They should be basically underneath the palms, so as wide as you can get. Bending deeply into the left knee, but make sure you can still see your left big toe. And again, it doesn't really matter if your knee ever goes directly over the heel. That's just a goal to work towards. From here, finding that side angle pose, left forearm comes to the thigh, right arm reaches up and overhead, rooting down to the outer edge of the right foot and letting that length ripple up the right leg, the right side, all the way up the right arm and through the fingertips. Gaze is lifted. And now noticing that weight on the left arm. So it could be a lot, and that's okay, just starting to build the strength. But notice if you're collapsing your shoulders into it. Find that length through the heart space still, even if there's a lot of weight on the forearm. Maybe the forearm starts to get lighter. Maybe the last 2 breaths, you hold that big beach ball over your head again. Good, pressing through the feet. Embracing shakiness, building that strength. 1 more breath. Inhale, back up, warrior 2. Good. From warrior 2, flip the left palm, inhale, peaceful warrior. All the way up and back, keep the bend in the left leg just for 1 more second. And exhale, cartwheel both hands down, either side of the left foot. Pivot on the back toes. And then you can heel toe your left foot over to the left side so that both hands can come inside the left foot. Rock forward and back, side to side. And find lizard on the left side, which can and usually does look and feel different than on the right side. So drawing the hips forward again. Maybe you stay up on the palms. Maybe on this side it feels more comfortable down on the forearms, or vice versa. It was comfortable on the forearms on the first side and maybe not so much on this side. Just, again, building that mindful awareness in the body and meeting yourself wherever you're at. You can only get stronger. Good, we'll take 2 more breaths. Make your way up onto the palms if you're on the forearms. Starting to tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, and swing the left leg up for three-legged dog, releasing the hip however it feels good. From here, finding downward facing dog, we'll go through our last vinyasa of class. So inhale forward to plank. Exhale, lower down your way. Inhale, slide through cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Great. Inhale the right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. And exhale, bring it forward for pigeon pose. So for pigeon, right knee comes towards the right wrist, ankle towards the left wrist. We're not going to be here very long, but I wanted to touch on this pigeon pose because it's a very popular pose. And I know that sometimes we need a little bit more support in this pose, and sometimes teachers just rush kind of through it. So a lot of the times teachers talk about the shin lining up with the front of the mat, finding that parallel line. But for most people, that is not an accessible way to do this pose. So instead, that might be the goal someday in this lifetime or the next. But you can also keep this foot nice and close to you, but flex through the foot to protect the knee. Make sure that both hips are facing forward instead of sliding over to the right side, like how I was just talking to you then. Trying to keep this left hip in line with the right hip. From there, making sure that the back foot is directly behind you. Sometimes it's a little more out to the side than we think. Good. And then from here, bring the hands back by the hips, lift and lengthen through the heart space, and keep that length as you exhale, fold forward for this sleeping pigeon variation. So as you fold forward, you can relax your head on something, whether it's maybe stacked fists, or if you have a block, or you can use a block, you can also rest on your hands, or directly on the mat. Good. So we'll just stay here for one more breath. And then make your way back up onto the palms, tuck the back toes, start to lift that back knee, and find the three-legged dog just to release whatever came up for you in that pigeon. Then we'll switch sides. So from down dog, inhale, the left leg lifts. And exhale, draw that left leg forward. The left knee is towards the left wrist. The left ankle towards the right wrist. But again, you can keep it pretty close to you. Just flex through the foot. Walk the back leg out. Make sure it's directly behind you. And then again, not falling over to the left side. Keep that right hip drawn forward to keep in line with the right. Hands come back by the hips. Inhale to lift through the heart. And exhale, fold forward. So relax your head on something. Doesn't matter what it is, if you have a prop, if it's your hands. And notice that this side, again, will probably feel very different than the first side, just like with lizard. Hips are notoriously different from left to right. And if there's any pain in the knee, then you would do reclined pigeon in class. So discomfort is one thing. You can breathe through discomfort, but if there's any pain whatsoever, you should always modify. Listen to your body if it tells you pain. And then encourage that breath connection if you feel discomfort. From here, coming back up onto the palms, we'll find that three-legged dog once again, so tuck the toes. Say hi to my cat Mika, who decided to join us, and find three-legged dog with the left leg all the way up to the sky. Good. Meeting in downward facing dog, we're just gonna roll all the way forward to plank. Lower down as slow as you can onto your stomach. Excuse me, Mika, thank you. And then rolling over onto your back. From your back, your knees can come in towards your chest. Maybe make some circles. Maybe circles the other way. Bring your arms out to a T. And let your knees drop over to the left as the gaze shifts towards your right fingers. Relax the legs, relax the shoulders, relax the eyes, maybe they close. And then we'll switch sides. Inhale, the knees come back to center. And exhale, they drop over to the right as you gaze to the left. And then as you inhale next, come back to center and take any last wiggles that feel good before making your way into Shavasana, into your resting posture. If you're ready for Shavasana, you can also meet us there, but it might feel good to maybe make circles with your knee again, or find a happy baby, opening up through the hips. And we'll all meet in Shavasana in the next couple breaths. When you make your way into that Shavasana position, let yourself take up space. Let your hands be wider than your mat, palms face up. Your feet can be as wide as your mat or even wider with the toes pointing out to the side. And then start to relax the space between your eyebrows. Relax the eyelids. Relax the nostrils and the lips. Unclench the teeth and remove your tongue from behind the teeth. Let the whole face relax. And let your body follow the arms, shoulders, torso, hips, legs, feet. All relaxed. Shavasana is one of the biggest, most important, and most difficult postures of yoga. The ability to be in stillness and silence and remain in the present moment with yourself is one of the biggest goals. So give yourself permission to be here and soak up your practice for just 5 more breaths. And then without opening your eyes, without even moving a muscle, come back into the body. Maybe do that body scan, starting at the top of the head and making your way to the toes. Acknowledge that you showed up. Acknowledge that you've done the work. And begin to seal in whatever it is you need to take with you from this practice. And then you can wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes. Roll out the ankles, roll out the wrists. Let those movements just grow naturally into the bigger movements. Maybe finding a nice big stretch. Maybe the knees come in towards your chest and you roll over onto the right side, finding Garbhasana, fetal pose. And then slowly make your way up to sit, keeping the eyes closed if you can. Hands can either come to heart center or just rest lightly on your knees like in the beginning of class. Thank you so much for spending some time with yourself today, for developing some mindful awareness in your body. Thank you for sharing your amazing energy with each other and your beautiful practice with me. It's been such an honor guiding you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, knowing that you are as much a part of the universe as the trees and the stars. And though there's no way we can know for sure, there's also no doubt that the universe is unfolding exactly the way that it should. Namaste.